Welcome to an episode of Wrestling with Worldwide Willis. I'm your host, Brandon Willis, and I am here today with L. How's it going, L?
Going good. How you doing?
Hanging in there, man. Highly blessed, you know what I mean? But yeah, this podcast is brought to you by the LMG Podcast Network, and today we are going to play again our own version of King of the Hill. I know some people play it one-on-one. We call it King of the Hill. Play one-on-one. Whoever scores stays on. Next person up, go against them. Whoever scores out of there stays on. In this particular, version of King of the Hill, we're basically going to do which is better, like which wrestler is better. I'm going to present matchups for L and myself to answer, and we're going to go through it. Each matchup, we're going to decide which wrestler is better. In a particular category, we're usually going to go with which is a better superstar overall. Now, there may be matchups where we're talking about which is better on the mic, which is better, you know, more entertaining, which one is a better just technical wrestler, things of that nature. But we'll specify as we go. So L, are you ready?
Yeah, man.
All right, man. First one out the gate. Which is a better technical wrestler, Eddie Guerrero or Kurt Angle? Yep, yep. I'm
Man,
starting out like that. Yep, out the gate.
technical wrestler.
Yeah, technical ability. Now, Kurt was more like wrestling style, whereas Eddie was like worked on wrestling since he was a little baby type. Worked on suplexes as a toddler type situation. So it's a tough one.
Uh, hmm. I think I will still say Eddie.
Ooh, okay.
Because when I'm thinking about it, like whole body of work.
Hmm. That's tough because body of work wise, Kurt got a
No, he got a lot though, too. That's why I'm
crazy
like,
amount of classics. He pretty much has every time he appeared in WrestleMania. Usually, his match was a classic. And then
oh
obviously
man.
others, and then either other promotions really.
And that's what I'm thinking about too. Like right when I say a whole body of work, towards the end, Eddie wasn't known as being technical like Kurt, you know,
Yeah.
is. 'Cause a
Hmm.
lot of this stuff was, lie, cheat, and steal. So
Yeah.
he started getting gimmicky
Yeah. Yeah.
after a
I agree with
while.
that. And it became very repetitive at the end.
Yeah.
It was like boom, 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 couple moves, three amigos, frog splash. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I changed that answer.
Hmm.
Because
Okay.
I was just thinking about, because think about now, like if you watch anything on YouTube or social media, when it comes to Eddie,
Yeah.
it's him cheating to
Yeah.
win. Like, or that match with him and Brock Lesnar is when he did the frog splash.
Yeah.
That's about it. With Kurt Angle, you see a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. You know what? On the fly, I'm gonna change it to the original OG King of the Hill rules because I think it's gonna make it for an interesting matchup. All right. So we had Eddie versus Kurt. Now Kurt won that matchup, so Kurt stays on. Kurt's still in, he got the ball. He's still at the top of the key with the ball, right?
Right.
Now we got Kurt Angle or Shawn Michaels.
Oh, dang it. But
I
technical.
yeah, I probably would go. Now I will say Shawn was extremely, well in the technical aspect. Obviously, he gave you a little more of a show, obviously showstopper, but he still was pretty technical, and he was doing some stuff that at the time was kind of groundbreaking.
Right. But to me, he wasn't really like that until he came back.
Yeah, I agree. That second stint, he
That
definitely got
second
way more
stint,
technical.
like he was forced because he wasn't
Yeah,
like
doing
he
high
used
fly.
to be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'd argue
I
they had more classics the second time around than the first time around.
Yeah, he did
Yeah,
because it was more competition,
yeah, that's true. It was a better
and
better roster.
and he was a better shoot person.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah,
When he came back, it wasn't pissing people off and
right.
you know all that stuff.
That's true.
If you know, you know. For people, look up Sean before he hurt his back.
Yeah, he was. Jeez,
He was not a good person.
no.
Um,
I probably
I
still go.
I I still go with Kurt.
I probably would go with Kurt as well. In the first matchup, I agree. I go Kurt over Eddie. The second matchup, I go Kurt over Sean. It's close, but Sean,
It's close.
I'm not the biggest fan of Shawn Michaels, the first version, like the young Shawn. That's not my favorite.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people like idolize that version. I like the older Shawn. Um, kind of reminds me of like an old man Logan type situation where he just came back and was
yeah.
just old but was fighting everybody and
He
was
was putting some classics when he came
yeah,
back, though.
like classic matches. So okay, Kurt keeps stays on the floor. He still got the ball. All right, Kurt and Chris Jericho, prime Chris Jericho. That's harder than people think. Some people might be like, "Oh yes, Kurt for sure." It's like prime Chris Jericho was tough, especially like late WCW, early WWE.
Yeah, before he cut his hair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Lionheart, basically.
When he was, yeah, before he cut, because when he cut his hair,
Yeah, no, it
it
went
was
down.
it went downhill ever since.
Yeah, it went down.
When he
He was
cut
more
his
of an
hair,
entertainer at that point.
he started doing all the other stuff then. And
Yeah,
people now think about him,
is that
AEW
him?
version of him, and
Yeah, no,
that ain't it either.
right.
Oh man. But the thing that keeps getting me is how long they were known for that.
Yeah,
I will still say Kurt. Just
I
because how long he was known to be technical like that.
yeah, 100.
Like he
percent
was known like until because I don't count that whole retirement thing with Baron Corbin. I don't
Oh no, no, no,
I
no.
don't count none of that.
Yeah, no, no. That last stint, I don't count any of that. That was like Jordan playing for the Wizards. Like
Yeah,
I don't
that
count that.
was
Yeah.
I don't that don't exist to me.
Um. Okay. Now we have Kurt Angle versus Brian Danielson. I would argue,
Oh,
in this case, it's tough. I would vote Brian Danielson.
I would definitely vote. Yeah,
Yeah, just because he literally had it all. He's literally
yeah,
the complete package.
he really is. Like,
Like, yeah. If a nerd built a wrestling, not like your casual, because if a casual built a wrestler in their mind, they're gonna think 6'4", almost 280, jacked. Whereas a wrestling nerd is gonna build Brian Danielson like point for point. You know what I
point for
mean?
point.
Yeah, like so. Okay, Brian Danielson wins
Yeah.
the technical wrestler, King of the Hill. All right, now we're gonna go. Um, let's go, young fellas. Let's go with the young guys. And this one is just the better superstar, the better talent overall, right?
Yeah.
Um, okay, we're gonna go start with Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker, who is the better talent? Braun Breaker or Damian Priest?
Mm.
It's a tough matchup
That's a
because
tough one.
yeah, Braun is younger, Damian's older, but Damian is a talented guy. You know what I mean? Very talented in the ring too.
And the thing is, we haven't seen Braun's peak
Yeah, true.
or his prime yet,
Right.
which is scary.
Yeah, it really is. I'd say I'll get to it later.
Like right now, that sucks.
Yeah,
I don't,
I'll get to it later, but I think he is the weakest Steiner brother Steiner family member as far as wrestling is concerned.
yes,
Yeah,
I agree with that one.
yeah,
Because I've recently been watching stuff this past week
Yeah.
from them.
It's
As
tough.
a superstar, as of like right now, I would say Damian.
Ooh, okay.
But boy, I feel weird about saying that
I
because
might
right
have.
now I'm thinking about the push as like right now.
Yeah, I feel you. But I mean, Bron's an IC champ. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
Um,
that's a whole nother conversation with that right now.
yeah, that's true. Um, I might. This is tough. I might go Braun, but I understand what you're thinking with Damian. So Damian will move on. All right, who's a better talent, Damian or Jacob Fatu?
I
So
would
it's
say Jacob.
Jacob. Yeah, a little bit.
Homeboy can do everything.
Yeah. That's kind of what separated him. Is now he's cutting promos at a really high level and being.
They let them cut the promo.
Yeah, exactly. He's basically just talking. Like he's not even really your traditional promo.
No, yeah, homeboy just
Yeah, there's some
that's
stuff he would literally say in prison. It's like, all right, say that, just don't cuss. Just whatever
yeah.
you're just gonna say it out here.
Like
You know?
if anybody ever watched, go back on YouTube, watch his
Yeah,
interviews. He
right.
sounds just like that.
Sounds just like that. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
he
And
sounds
it's
more humble and not less aggressive,
right.
but it's still right there.
Absolutely. He's just being himself, just amped up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a good point. Okay. It's a better talent. Jacob Fatu or Drew McIntyre?
Ah,
It's a tough one. Because Drew is like we talked about, if a casual Drew like built a wrestler, it would be Drew McIntyre.
that's a
You know what I mean? So it's rough.
that's a rough one.
Yeah.
Better.
And Drew's, you know, skills in the mic are top tier now.
Yeah, it is. Man, I would probably say Drew.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I respect it. I respect it. It's a tough one.
that is a tough one.
All right, our next one. Better talent. Drew McIntyre or Obafemi?
That's another one. Like we don't like he's not in his prime yet.
Yeah, that's true.
Homeboy's still green in a lot of areas.
Yeah.
I would say Drew because of experience.
Okay. Again, like it's better talent. So it doesn't have to necessarily be what the bouts they put out, but just talent wise.
Talent.
If you had to sign, I guess now if you had basically if you had to sign someone tomorrow, discounting age and just going off the talent they are right now.
I would say Drew.
Okay, I respect it. I
Off of
respect it.
that, off of you saying it that way, yeah,
Yeah,
I would say Drew.
because I think I agree with you. Like
Because
Drew's,
over Mike, he sound okay. This might be a hot take. May not, may not be. A lot of people in NXT sound the same.
okay, yeah,
Not all of them, but some of them sound the same.
okay,
And Oba is one of those, like, I like Oba. I love Oba. But some of his, like, when he does those promos by himself in the ring or whatever,
yeah,
it's about the same thing every time.
true. I agree. I think he can get a little more. I don't know. They kind of have him boxed into this whole ruler thing, which
Yeah.
I like. It's the right move. It's just it kind of boxes you in promo wise. You know what I mean? You can't really get too sophisticated. It's basically like I run the place. Whoever wants to challenge me, and then somebody interrupts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, okay. Now let's go to um, the best big man, like big man wrestling, right? Medium men slapping meat, type of situation. Oba Femi. Let's Oba is our start guy. Oba Femi or Brunson Reed.
I would say I would say Brunson Reed.
Ooh, Brunson Reed on that. I would have went Oba.
The only reason I say that because he's more versatile as a big man.
Is but okay. I'm trying to think who has more like banger matches. Now Brunson has some good ones, but I think Oba has more banger matches, and he was the focal point. That triple threat that could have won match of the year. Um,
That's
the
true.
one he won against Trick, it was a triple threat match. I'm pretty sure. Um, Deadline, that was a pretty good one. Um, the one with I'm trying to think. Oh, him and Wes Lee had a couple bangers. Like
Yeah, they did.
now, medium and like yeah. I mean, it's tough because Brunson. I remember that elimination chamber match he showed out a couple years ago. Him and Braun Strowman had a couple bangers.
Him and Seth.
Him and Seth. Him and Gunther had a couple really good ones. Um, yeah, that's and he's part of the potentially the greatest elimination chamber. I mean, war games match of all time.
And yeah, I'll still stick with. Oh no, because now since you said all those NXT matches, I'm like
Yeah,
reliving them in my head. Like those are pretty nice though.
yeah. I mean, I get it. Brunson is definitely more versatile in that way as far as like high flyer
Yeah,
goes.
yeah, I'll still say Branson.
Okay, all right. 20. All right, Gunther. I mean Brunson Reed or 2019 version of Keith Lee.
Oh gosh, I gotta go with Keith Lee. I can't.
Yeah,
That was my dude in
yeah, bro.
2019.
Honestly,
I
he
can't.
Keith Lee is solely responsible for my reinvigorated love for pro wrestling. Keith Lee, Gunther too, and Walter, but Keith Lee, dog. When I turned on that TV and I saw his big ass doing all that stuff, him and Dijak going against each other,
Oh my
I
gosh.
was like, oh, what have I been missing? Like when they let a big dude in here,
Just
like
destroying and just being agile.
yes,
Poor Adam Cole is going to be a name just forever.
yeah, bro. Throwing people out the club. My man was doing all kind of dope stuff, moonsaults, everything.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Like, yeah. Speaking of Keith Lee, we miss you. Wherever you at in AEW floundering, or if you hurt or sick or whatever,
Yeah, man,
we just need
it's,
you to come on back. When I
it's
mean
tough,
come on
man.
back, go ahead and come back home.
Once or twice a year, I watch that Survivor Series match when he had his moment with
Well,
Roman
Roman,
Reigns.
oh
Yeah,
my
man.
gosh, he should have.
That,
To
that
this day, I said he should have won that.
bro,
If
he
he
should have
let,
won that, bro. I shed a
if he could
tear
let him
every
have
time.
that, Roman would have not. That would have did nothing for Roman.
Yeah, bro. And Roman sold it so well. He like looked at him. He was like, "Yo, you a real deal. You know what I mean?" And then his Royal Rumble moment with Brock, like, and then Vince just wasted, like, completely wasted it. But
And the thing that, speaking of that, that also like makes me upset.
mm,
He's not consistent because Vince like the big guys.
right,
So he screwed over Drew McIntyre
yeah,
years ago. Almost basically screwed Gunther
yep,
up out of here because if Vince was here, we don't know if Gunther would still be here
that's true.
because he was floundering.
Mm-hmm.
Keith Lee, like
Yep,
I
like
don't.
major talents he wasted. And
Yeah,
Keith Lee's a tough spot because you only had a finite amount of time for Keith. You had to take advantage of that 19 to 22 range because you had health issues. So like, and he's older. So it's like, I just, I don't know. I don't know. But for those out there who don't know what we're talking about, go YouTube Keith Lee.
please YouTube him.
Please go look up his old NXT work. He's one of the greatest NXT champions ever. He's one of the greatest, just big guy talents ever. And like he was doing it during a time where like he was the champ, he was a double champ, and there was no crowd. It was during COVID. He made NXT watchable during that time. Yeah, but okay, 2019 version of Keith Lee or Gunther. You dare disrespect the ring general. We have a problem.
Um, no, I can't disrespect Gunther like that. No, I'll definitely say him.
Yeah.
I'll definitely say Gunther on that one. Especially
Yeah.
like I said, his body of work speaks for itself, and he's a champion right now too. So
Fast. And I mean, yeah, he really had no down moments where Keith kind of had some down moments.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Um, Keith was on the rise in NXT for sure, but Gunther was that dude as soon as he stepped foot in the door. You know what I mean?
right.
So
They just had to figure out what to do with homeboy.
yeah. It's tough. It's tough. Um, okay. Um, for the next one, we'll go with Triple H. Just better overall resume. Okay. We're going better overall resume.
Talking about like championships,
Championships,
Royal
all
Rumble wins, all
accolades.
that stuff.
Yeah, all their contributions. And with Triple H, it's kind of tough because obviously what other things he's done. Um, we'll go strictly off Triple H, the wrestler.
Okay, because I'm about to say, boy, he's about to clean sweep all this mess.
Yeah, we'll go Triple H, the performer. Okay. Triple H, Randy Orton.
Accolades, accolades. So as a wrestler, it has to be Randy.
But no, what? Randy? That is crazy.
If you sell my what?
Triple H holds more belts. Well, no, actually, Randy passed him up.
I'm about to say Randy got at least about what 10?
Yeah, Triple H got like 14 or something like that.
How many war heavyweights he got?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because
I think
he
he
got
has
like,
more. Oh, that's a good question.
because then he got Money in the Bank, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did he do 2 Royal Rumbles?
Yeah, Triple H was a 2 Royal Rumble winner. Yeah, I think it's Triple H. I think Triple H has led 2 successful stables, almost 3.
You're right.
Um,
You're right.
you know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
corporation, Evolution, DX. He was the main heel during the hottest, well, one of the hottest now times in pro wrestling. During the Attitude Era, he was the main heel. Whereas Randy's hottest moments, let's be honest, wrestling wasn't popping like that.
Yeah, that was
Uh,
'09 Randy when he was a
yeah,
dang menace.
exactly. Like it wasn't even popping to that degree yet. During that time, not WWE wise.
Yeah, 'cause it
Uh,
was basically him and John Cena going at it.
right.
You're right.
Um,
Yeah,
and I just think Triple H has done more. Has better
you're right.
accolades.
Yeah. Yeah, because also he took over DX after Sean left
Exactly. And took it to
and
new
took it to a
heights.
whole new
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I would say Triple H.
Okay. Triple H or CM Punk.
I'll still say Triple H over him.
Yeah. It's tough because CM Punk, I think, has more influence on, but obviously time matters. CM Punk went away. I do think his influence is bigger, but I think Triple H's influence is low key might be bigger. It's just,
Nobody talks about it.
yeah, like I think Triple H low key is one of the more underrated wrestlers ever.
Yeah. Like
Because like,
people talk about him. Like we're gonna hear a lot of people talk about him in the next like month
yeah,
because it's Hall of Fame stuff.
right.
So like the only ones that really talk about him is basically his little, I don't want to say understudies because that's not the right word when I talk about
Oh,
them.
like as many people, yeah,
Like the
yeah,
people that I don't want to say groomed because that sounds bad too nowadays.
right, yeah.
Like
But the people,
Seth
yeah,
and
yeah,
all of them. And
mm-hmm,
shoot, if Adam Cole was in WWE, he was one of them too. He
yeah,
was
it
a
was,
Triple H guy.
mm-hmm,
Like all those people, like you hear them in interviews talk about them,
yeah,
or you hear like Kevin Nash or Sean talk about them, or
mm-hmm,
Undertaker.
right,
Like you'll hear, even The Rock has talked about him in the recent like years.
yeah,
So it's just you don't hear those things. You'll definitely hear, people like with CM Punk, like Roxanne and Cora
yep,
Jade and
mm-hmm.
others like that.
Seth
But
Rollins, yep,
yeah, Seth Rollins, even though whatever he got issues with him
yeah,
with right now, but yeah, man, because when I even think about CM Punk, I'm like, okay, accolades besides his influence, I can't really like think
yeah, yeah,
when it comes to him because I was like, bro, you've been gone for so long, I don't even remember.
yeah. That's true. He did kind of make the Money in the Bank thing like popping.
Yeah, he did.
Um, he kind of brought. I mean, I know for myself, he brought wrestling back into my life around 2011, 2012 ish. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um, and just mic skills and things of that nature, even just Ring of Honor stuff. But I agree, Triple H in this particular category. Um, Triple H or John Cena?
it gotta be John.
Unfortunately,
It got yeah, like he maybe not break the record.
yeah, I know. We'll see.
Don't know.
We'll see in
Kind of
Mania.
iffy about that. That'll be in a whole nother episode.
Right.
I don't know how I feel if he win or lose.
Yeah,
I don't know. I still don't know. I don't know if when it happens how I will feel about that.
100%. Yeah, I'll be shocked either way. I think.
But just
Um,
off of just the WWE championships. But the thing is, like you said, three factions
yeah,
with Triple H though.
that's my thing. Is like Triple H. We're not even obviously we're excluding the you know big wig behind the scenes influence. We're just
Yeah.
factoring in the performer. But like, I mean, yeah, dog. Like people, the pedigree, like like so many things. The spray in the air. Everybody knows that. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody
It's
knows that.
like accolades wise, like yeah, I just think a lot of people ripped off of Triple H and didn't say they ripped off Triple H. I don't see a bunch of people being like, yeah, I want to be like John Cena outside of just being saying like, I want to be the number one guy. I don't think they literally want to be John Cena.
No.
Yeah. Like, and I mean, we're talking wrestling. It's not even close, but
Yeah, wrestling wise, it's definitely Triple H.
yeah, 100%.
John Cena don't have that many moves.
No. Like, I can name like 9 moves Triple H had in his bag, whereas Cena, mm, and Cena switched it up randomly and will do something weird randomly. And you'd be like, what? Like, why did you do that all of a sudden? Or where has this been the whole time?
Yeah, where you get that out that bag?
Yeah. Um, yeah. We'll just do a Hurricane Run out of nowhere. You'd be like,
Yeah,
what?
that's what I was the first thing I was gonna say. I was like, yeah, you just bust out Hurricane Rana. Like, bro,
Yeah.
what's your big butt doing that? Sit down
Yeah.
somewhere with
Hey,
that.
like, what? Um, okay. All right, let's do tag teams. Now we're just doing best tag teams, or not necessarily accolades, but like best like tag teams overall, as far as like wrestling, entertainment, talent, all that. All right, so we're gonna start with the Hardy Boys. As far as which is the better tag team, Hardy Boys or the Dudley Boys. Two totally different styles. But I don't
And just them as a tag team.
as a tag team, yeah.
As a tag team, I would say Hardys.
Okay.
Because, and we're just basing off like current or back then or just overall.
We'll do like overall. Yeah.
Yeah, overall, them.
Gotcha.
One, they're still wrestling. Two,
Mm,
they done legit got every belt at every promotion.
yeah.
Like the only one they missing is this NXT one, but we'll see soon
Yeah, it's true.
how that may or may not happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're the only. Yeah, I would definitely say them.
Okay. I like it. I I think it's tough because I think Dudleys were better like wrestlers,
Oh yeah,
but I say that, but like Hardy Boys are really good too. Um, and I guess it's definitely the matter like what you're a fan of aesthetic wise. Like, do you want more high flying tag teams? Do you want more like methodical? You know,
and
I
sometimes
think
they were bruisers too.
yeah, for sure. And I mean, the tough part is like I'm big on. I love a tag team that has a finisher where they're both involved. I love that. Like I'm a sucker for that. So when it's basically you win all your championships off of a move that it only involves one person, I'm like, damn. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It just doesn't feel like it feels like a tag team, but it feels like, somebody's carrying a little more weight than the other person. Whereas like
right.
FTR, like Shadow Machine, I'm like, oh yeah, bet. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's dope to see. It's like it's in unison. So that I kind of give Dudley's a little more credit having 3D. Like that was one of the greatest finishing moves of all time as far as tag teams are concerned.
yeah, I agree with that one for sure.
So it's tough.
Yeah,
So you're
because
going,
even when the Hardys did their finisher, it was a twist of fate from Matt, then
yeah,
Swanton from Jeff.
exactly. And everybody's just waiting for the swan song.
Yeah, nobody
Yeah,
care about the dang twist of fate.
mm-mm.
We just want to see Jeff jump off that turnbuckle.
Exactly. That's all we want. Um. So yeah, you're going with Hardy's, huh?
Yeah,
Okay, nothing wrong with it.
yeah.
Okay, Hardy Boys or Harlem Heat.
Mm. Oh,
For those who don't know, Harlem Heat is Booker T and his brother Stevie Ray.
Stevie Ray.
WCW, WCW.
That's a hard one because I feel like with them, they didn't give a good shot at WCW. Didn't do any. Didn't like. I didn't think they had a first shot at WCW sometimes.
Mm, okay,
So it's almost like we didn't see like their full potential.
gotcha. I mean, they won a solid amount of
Yeah, they
titles.
saw. Yeah, but after when NWO showed up,
Oh yeah, you're right.
it was a
They,
wrap.
yeah, yeah, you're right.
So that's why I was like, it was like they had their thing until you start seeing black and white or black and red, and you just forgot everything else.
Yeah, and I think they were trying to get right to all right, Booker T, go do your thing, like
Yeah,
get out of this tag thing. Uh,
especially you ever heard the story about they try to get him into the NWO?
I think I heard that. What did he say again?
Uh, what's the name? Scott Hall was trying to get him into the NWO black and white.
Yeah.
And he told him, he's like, hey, we don't have enough, like, we don't have black people
Oh yeah.
in the NWO. And he was trying to get Booker T to join just because of that. And Booker T was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, bro, that's crazy. That sounds like something Scott would say.
I heard
But
that like some like months ago, and I was like, what?
oh, I think I did hear that because it was on Undertaker's podcast, right?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's where it was on.
yeah, that's right. That's crazy to say. I need more black representation.
We need some black representation. Do you want to join us?
Right. And it was smart. I mean, it was smart to not do it. He would have got caught up all up in that stuff.
He would have got killed. Oh boy, and
And
ain't no
buried.
telling what. Now
Yeah.
we know what Hogan is. So
Right, exactly. Yeah. Hell no. But this is a situation where one brother kind of outweighs the other. One brother has singles potential, the other doesn't. However, Matt kind of came
Matt's the
unexpectedly.
same
Yeah,
way.
right. Matt unexpectedly had a really good senior singles career, but mainly known as a tag team wrestler.
Well,
Um,
Jeff held the dang title though.
yeah, it's true. So did Booker T. So it's
Yeah, you're right. Dang
five
it,
time, five
man.
time, five
Five
time, five
times.
time
As a tag team.
as a tag team.
Dang it. I would still say Hardy's.
Ooh, okay. All right. Steiner Brothers. Hardy
Mm.
Boys or the Steiner Brothers?
Um,
I know my answer.
I would probably say the Steiners.
I agree with you. I think they're
Like
the most underrated tag team in history.
they really are.
Like the stuff they was doing was wild and groundbreaking. Frankensteiner.
Right.
Like what did they? What was their finisher called? Something. Is it
Oh,
Destroyer? I can't remember. Basically, put the dude on his. I think it was Rick Steiner will put him up on his shoulders, and then Scott Steiner go through with the clothesline.
this is the Frankensteiner?
No, Frankensteiner was the basically the Hurricane Rana off the top row. I mean, off the buckle, but the finisher was
Steinerizer? That's what
maybe it was like I don't know
it's like a
because
DDT.
no, it's basically it's kind of like what the Street Profits do. However, you just close instead of that, you just clothesline the guy off the other guy's shoulders.
Oh, was it like oh
Yeah,
because they will have one on the shoulders, another one would drop down almost like in a bulldog.
right. Yeah.
The heck was that called?
Yeah. Feel like it's something to. I just can't remember. But great finishing move. Um, yeah, and they were jacked and they were stiff as hell. And they won in Japan, they won in America, WCW, like all kind of promotions. Um, not to mention both of them have very successful singles careers. Like people sleep on Rick Steiner's single career. Like he was like a TV champion. I used to love when Rick Steiner came out. He'd be barking and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it was called the Steinerizer.
Okay.
I feel
And
like that
then
was a different name for that.
yeah, and
That's
then
what
Rick
that's what
Steiner had
Google
the
says.
bulldog uh, finishing move, and Scott Steiner had the finisher with the submission. What was that thing
Oh
called?
yeah,
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
Man, what is? Why
What
am
is
I
this?
blanking on their stuff?
I know I'm blanking on their finishes, but Scott Steiner has some really good finishes. Um, but I think it's Steiner Brothers for sure.
Yeah, I would
Um,
definitely agree with that one.
yeah, I think Steiner Brothers for sure. Okay, Steiner Brothers or the Usos.
Better as a tag. Ooh, as a tag team.
That's the thing. It's tough because I mean, I think Steiners are way better technically, but as a tag team, like Usos is up there with anybody as a tag team.
Right.
You know, it's a tough one. Um,
Oh man.
Now don't have a combination finish. Sometimes they do the splash at the same time. Now they did steal the 3D.
They
Make
definitely stole the 3D.
make it the 2D, but or 1D, right?
Yeah, it's the 1D. And they
1D.
both
Yeah.
do that super kick.
Yeah, they both do super kick. Yeah. But, and I mean, it's crazy because I'd be like, classics. Usos got a lot of classics.
They got a lot.
They got a lot. Like that Bloodline run, they had a bunch of classic matches. And then even before that, with the Penitentiary, the New Day, they had a bunch of classics.
Yeah, they did. Dang it.
It's a tough one.
Uh, man,
I'd probably lean
that's a hard one.
tag team. I'd probably lean Usos as far as just tag team wrestling is concerned, but I'd rather watch Steiner Brothers.
I
Because,
can
I
say,
mean, Steiner's was basically tag, I'm going to beat the hell out of you. Tag, next guy, I'm going to beat the hell out of you. Whereas Usos is like, in and out, bang, 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 tag. Okay, it's like in unison. It's very smooth.
yeah. But they also had Steiner's had more moves though, too.
They definitely did. They definitely did. And they dropped you on your head at any moment.
Yes, they would. I would say the Steiners. Just off of like when you was just explaining that, like I'm thinking of the match. Like already you already know, like we talked about moves earlier with
Yeah.
John Cena. Same thing with the Usos.
Mm-hmm.
They only got about 5 or 6.
Yeah.
With the Steiners, you know they got more than that.
Sure.
Just off of that. And like you said, they still in somebody else's finisher for a finisher.
Yeah. 100%.
So I
100%.
definitely would say the Steiners.
I rock with that. I love the Steiner. Shout out to the Steiner brothers. My favorite tag teams ever. Um, okay. Let's go a recent one. We'll do two more. Recent one. Let's do Carmelo Hayes or Penta. We're not going to take in necessarily their storyline. We're just taking in who do you like watching wrestle more, essentially? And, well, I guess, who do you like on your TV screens to watch on your TV screens more? Whether wrestling, backstage, promo, whatever. Penta or Carmelo?
Wrestling definitely Penta.
Okay.
I can't put the mic skills. I can't do that because language barriers and stuff.
Right.
As wrestling, when I watch them, I would say Penta.
Okay. Okay. I respect that. I think I enjoy Mello more as a just entertainment wise. And I think he's a good enough wrestler to get through because he can put on a banger. He had a pretty good match with who he faced last. Um, but it was a pretty good match. And I think it was him and Randy. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but say him and Randy because didn't KO
Yeah.
move him
Came
out the
in. Yeah.
way.
I don't love his booking. We've talked about that
Yeah,
ad nauseum. We'll
we
keep
don't like
talking about
that.
it probably. But he continues to put out really good matches whenever he's put in, you know what I mean, one of these like go get him situations. Um, yeah, I would probably go because the thing about Penta is like people don't want to talk about it. I know it's like that thing that no one wants to speak about. But his wrestling is it's kind of sloppy.
It's definitely
It's
sloppy. It is
it's
definitely sloppy.
it's extremely sloppy, and I was told I'm not the biggest Penta guy. I found out about Penta in AEW through tag team wrestling. I had never really seen any singles uh, competition from Penta, like outside of obviously tag team. I saw a little bit, obviously, what he was facing like EO and Lucha Underground and Chelsea Green and all that. So this is kind of my first real introduction to a solo Penta, and so far, I mean, he has some good matches with Ludwig Kaiser and a couple others, but he's not like this groundbreaking luchador who I'm like, oh my gosh. Now I will say, watching him and Ray Phoenix in tag team, amazing, amazing.
Yeah,
And I think Penta's a big time talent, but I just think right now I prefer to watch Carmelo on television, on my television.
I can see that. And I can see that, yeah, it is sloppy.
Yeah, it's definitely sloppy. Um, okay. Who would you rather watch on your TV? Penta or LA Knight? And again, it doesn't have to be wrestling. It can be wrestling, whichever, just on your television.
I would probably say LA Knight.
Okay.
Definitely entertainment for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. Um, who would you rather watch on your television? LA Knight or Seth Rollins?
Oh, definitely Seth Rollins.
Ooh, okay.
Definitely Seth Rollins.
Okay. Who would you rather watch on your TV? LA Knight or Carmelo? It's a little
I'll
tougher one.
say Carmelo.
Okay. I agree with that. Even though I love watching LA, but and I think it's better wrestling than people give him credit for.
Yeah.
Um, I really do. But yeah, I think LA's up there. He's just, he's so entertaining that like it's a drop off once he gets in the ring. So people automatically think if there's a drop off, then you're not good at that particular thing. Um, okay, last one. Better big man, like in general, like best big man technical wrestler, right? So like a big man who's really good in the ring, which is better, Taker or Brock Lesnar?
Mm. Technical?
Yeah,
That's a tough one.
yeah. It's tough because like sort of like a Shawn Michaels situation. Taker is extremely good, extremely technical. He's just kind of technical in a different way.
Right. And that's the thing I'm thinking of. Like, but with Brock, he'll throw that UFC stuff up in there and that wrestling background
Yeah,
and
I'd
actually
probably
uses it.
I'd probably lean Taker here. Technically, I think to make
Technically,
it
yes.
look shoot, I'd pick Brock.
Yeah.
You know
Because
what I mean?
outside of him doing suplexes
Yeah,
and doing the few submissions he do,
yeah,
it ain't that much.
right. It's
So
a lot of
yeah,
throwing people around.
yeah, he'll throw somebody around, but that's about it.
Mm.
So I'll definitely say
Taker,
take her on that one.
okay. Taker or 2019 version of Keith Lee. It's a tough one because I mean Keith Lee. I mean he can do anything at the time. He could do really anything.
Right.
But Taker had no misses, had no weaknesses in his game. Really, technical, technically sound.
I would probably say, dang it. Technically speaking, I will still say take her.
Okay, I like it. Okay, Taker or Gunther.
Oh, I gotta be Gunther.
Ooh, okay. I like
And,
that.
and the thing about Gunther, I think his butt is holding back.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because I know some things he can do.
Yeah,
Because I've seen when he was Walter, when he was thick
yeah,
and doing certain things he ain't doing now.
right.
So it's just like, when you gonna do any of that?
Yeah,
And now you're lighter. So I know you can do it.
yeah, 100%. There's a lot of things I'm sure he could do, but he kind of pulls back because of the repetitiveness. You know what I mean? You can't do that week to week. Some of that stuff,
Because every
especially.
now and then he'll do some little extra depending on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's true.
He'll
That
do
is
it. I'm
true.
like, oh, okay. I know
Yeah,
you can do it.
and he's doing these dark matches with any and everybody. So it's
Did you see that dark match? That not the dark. Well, I guess it was a house show.
yeah,
No,
house
they're
show.
still
Yeah,
over there at
in Europe.
in Europe. You see
Yeah,
the slap the crap out of CM Punk,
yeah, man, that chop was crazy.
and you and you can tell by his face, by CM Punk's face, he's like,
Yeah, he was like laughing because
okay.
it hurt so much.
And he start tapping the mat like, hey, bro.
Yeah. Get me out of here.
What is that?
Right. I want to see that on a Raw or something, some pay per view. I want to see CM Punk and Gunther. That'll be fun.
That would be
Uh,
fun.
okay, Gunther or Samoa Joe. Yeah, yeah, that's a tough one.
Joe's my guy too.
Yeah, I love Samoa Joe.
Man. Oh golly.
I mean, they both got the chops. Both got a lot of really good power moves. Creativity wise, I mean, Samoa will pull out some stuff. You like, damn, where'd it
Bro,
come
he would
from?
pull up some stuff like, I know you do that.
Yeah, even his finishers, though.
Man. Something of him in NXT, then also before that
Yeah,
in TNA.
TNA. Yeah,
Dang.
uh,
I might have to go Samoa.
technically, ooh,
Because you got the technically speaking,
mm, I don't know, man. Now that's tough because Samoa's had really good matches, even in AEW. He's had some really good matches. I'm probably gonna lean Gunther, but I'm not mad at a Samoa Joe winning that matchup. Like either one, I'm excited to watch wrestle.
right.
You know,
I need him to come back too.
oh, 100%. Because he, even if, yeah, I want to see him honestly come back to WWE. Like him and him and him and CM Punk, what they did at that AEW show, if they could bring that over to WWE, that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
And the amount of promos he could cut, him and Jacob Fatu, and
Man, his whole promo game.
it's crazy. I've
And
watched so many
he
montages.
didn't care.
He didn't care. He said it to Brock. He called Brock out, which is crazy to do. Shoot, crazy to do.
And and that's one of like the few people that when he said something that Randy Orton broke.
Yeah, 100%.
Because if you got Randy, it was like, oh,
Yeah.
wait
Someone
a
was like
minute.
talking to Jeff Hardy. He's like, hey, why don't you be quiet? Sort of like when you do with your AA meetings. And I was like, oh, how dare you?
When he said, I was like, all right, Joe. All right,
Yeah,
now.
bro. I will say, shout out to Samoa Joe, one of my favorite and most underrated big man matches. You know me, I love one of my most underrated big man matches is it was Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, Brock Lesnar, Samoa Joe, 4-way. I want to say it wasn't Great Balls of Fire because that was
I'm
when
about
they
to say,
met.
was that Great Balls of Fire?
I want to say it was shoot because I want to say it wasn't Great Balls of Fire because Great Balls of Fire was Samoa and Brock 1-on-1. I want to say this 4-way was it was dang. It's gonna bother me. It's gonna bother me. But I remember watching it and being like, man, this is one of the greatest 4-way matches I've ever seen, and especially with four big men. Like that match was amazing.
That was
It was like Roadblock or not Roadblock.
SummerSlam
SummerSlam. Okay, yeah. SummerSlam. Yeah. That makes sense.
2017.
Yeah. That match was amazing. It was constructed so well to where they got down Braun Strowman early on, kind of eliminated him from the situation. And then the other three went at it. And then Braun woke up like Frankenstein and started going to work. And this is when Braun Strowman was like over. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah. Okay, so you're going. Who'd you pick, Samoa or Gunther?
I picked Samoa.
Samoa. Shout out to Samoa Joe, one of the greatest big men, one of the greatest wrestlers ever, but especially big men. He makes big men like myself. Him, Kevin Owens, always represent for big fellas out here. That's what Keith Lee was such a disappointment. It's like, bro, you're supposed to be the goat of big fellas. Come on, dog.
Like, bro's doing stuff that nobody can do
Yeah, bro, you're
at
supposed
that
to represent.
size.
We
Like,
still
bro,
athletes out here, and
bro,
you decided to go down because of health issues. That ain't making us look good. You know what I'm saying? But but yeah, shout out to all the big guys out there wrestling, making us proud. Um, but yeah, El, thank you for playing. Um, some tough matchups in there.
It was tough.
Yeah, it's we'll do this again. There's plenty of other guys. We'll have Spencer, we'll have Roy, we'll have Pat on here as well, and really go through. I'm sure they have some very, Pat, and we'll do some women's division stuff too. That usually brings a lot
That'll
more
bring
hot,
him out.
a lot more hot takes. You know what I mean? Especially with Pat, we know how he feels.
Yeah,
Um,
we already know what to do with him. What them is.
yeah, absolutely. Oh, El, have you seen the Queen of the Ring movie?
No,
Okay. I kind of want to watch it because, our girl Felicity from Arrow is in it. So, and a lot of AEW women's wrestlers are in it. Tony Storm and others. So I'm definitely been interested since the previews, and I want to watch. I want to check it out.
because it got good reviews, didn't it?
I'm pretty sure it did. Pretty sure. Um,
Now I would say those actors that when they had that AEW
yeah,
PLE, I was like, bro, why'd y'all say that?
you're right. Yeah, that was terrible for her to say. I
And
don't
I
understand what she.
understand people like try to like
Yeah, they tried to save her, but
they
it's
try
stupid.
you can't you did that twice. You said that twice.
Yeah, that was a stupid thing. I will say this, and I've kind of noticed this a little bit, and it's starting to annoy me a little bit. Even I forgot the actor's name. The actress's name, the played Felicity and is in the main role in this movie. I've seen other actors do it, but she did it, and it kind of reminded me of my issue. But they sort of play these movie roles, and they play as a wrestler, and then they big at the time they say, "Man, wrestling's so hard. I have so much respect for pro wrestlers." Blah blah blah. It was so hard. Blah blah blah. And then when they do press junkets, they kind of say kind of the opposite. They kind of dismiss wrestling as like this. Oh, I was only interested during this filming. I really could care less about it
Yeah,
afterwards. I'm
like
not
I don't
saying you
keep
got.
up. I don't do anything with it.
Yeah, like because obviously during your interviews, people are going to ask you, "Oh, okay, you're doing a wrestling movie. So what are your? Are you a fan or Da, da, da. And they're like, "Oh no, 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 no. I'm far too busy. No, but I really do appreciate and I'm just like, bro, you ain't got to dismiss it. Like you got paid millions of dollars because this particular thing is interesting and people love it and they want to watch a movie about it. So that's the reason you're getting paid and you're going to dismiss it the way you do. I hate that, bro.
Like the only person that I know that hasn't dismissed it was Stephen L.
Yeah, 100%. He went all in and he loved it. And he talked about how hard it was. Absolutely.
And he's also like a huge mark.
Yeah, he really is. Yeah.
And I forgot, and his brother too.
Yeah, he is. Yep. And I mean, they had a whole TV show about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? A TV show. But yeah, I'm just noticing a trend of like the big, and we talk about it all the time on the podcast, like how big wrestling is right now, how much it's affecting pop culture, it's in the zeitgeist. But like, yeah, this type of stuff is annoying me. Where actors are like, I am an actor. I don't even watch that wrestling type of. You know what I mean? It's acting like they're
Yeah.
Tony Storm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like
uh,
I'm too good for that.
yeah, I'm just like, huh? Like, what do you like? Okay, you just got paid to do a movie about pro wrestling, and you're just gonna act like dismiss it as if it's just some little thing you did for a couple months. You know what I mean? It's just like, all right,
Right.
man. Like, shout out to Margot Robbie. She was talking about her ex boyfriend was a huge wrestling fan, and she like bigged up wrestlers. You know what I mean? She didn't act like she wasn't a fan. You know, so yeah, that just bothered me. So what you said reminded me of that. Yeah, the AEW girl definitely. She had to like clarify. I think she went on a couple other wrestling podcasts to clarify. It's like there's no recovering
Like
from that.
just know you did it twice. It'd be
Yeah,
different if you said it once.
right.
You said it twice.
Twice. It's
It's like you doubled down on it.
like, and I mean,
And it wasn't like after the thing. We still had matches to go
yeah, right.
on the show. And I'm
Yeah,
like, bro,
Right.
why'd you say that?
And my thing is like, and I don't know why I'm expecting a publicist to know how wrestling works, but it's like, okay, your client is in a wrestling movie. You're sending them to wrestling events. I'd be like, hey, the one thing you don't say is act like this is all predetermined
Yeah.
in a shoot way, like in an interview, and you definitely don't say it's fake. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Those are
you don't say those two words, predetermined or fake. You don't say those two
yes,
words.
ever. Only person that can say that is in a celebrity landscape is the wrestlers themselves. But like outside
But
of that,
but
you're
they
here to
even
promote a
skirt
movie.
around saying that.
Yeah, and exactly. They'll say a different word or be like, "Hey, yeah, we have a storyline, but like it's still competitive. It's still competition." But for her to just dismiss, I was just like, "That is bad. You are so out of touch. Like, why are you in this movie?"
And the thing that bothers me, like you've been in this movie with wrestlers.
Yes,
Like, has none of y'all talked to this girl
yeah.
like
I
in
feel
the
like
like during filming?
yes. I love to hear what Tony Sorb said, but I feel like the other girl, the bigger girl that was with Mercedes Monet, forgot my girl's name. She was in the movie.
Camille,
Camille, yeah. And I feel like she was like, I don't know what
she
she's
was
talking
trying to
about.
defend it. I was like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. She was just
You
like,
said
I
it
think people
twice.
are
You double
overthinking
tap.
it. What she was saying was, I'm like, no.
Ain't nobody overthinking it. You said it's predetermined. One thing I
Yes.
learned, it was predetermined. Like, bro, why?
Yeah.
Why'd you say that?
And I was just like, that was dumb. But we digress. But glad you brought it up because that definitely needs to be addressed. So but yeah, El, once again, appreciate your time, bro. And yeah, until next time, we out. Yeah.